Capricorn season. Thanks for tuning in to the Embodied Astrology podcast. I'm Renee Sills. I'm a consulting astrologer, embodiment educator, and the creator of Embodied Astrology. If you enjoy my readings, make sure to order your 2025 Year Ahead Expanded Horoscope now. These 2-hour Embodied Astrology yearly forecasts for each sign go in depth with the most important transits, offering embodied suggestions for making the most of the opportunities and working skillfully with the challenges. You can order your 2025 reading by clicking the link below. If my work benefits you and you want to help me keep giving these monthly readings for free or help keep all of our offerings at EA financially accessible and sliding scale, please take a moment right now to like, follow, and subscribe to our channels. This is the #1 way you can help us grow. This season's horoscopes are intuitive offerings for each sign of the zodiac. I hope that they serve and support you in some way. Listen for your sun, moon, and rising signs. And remember that not everything is for everyone, so take what works, leave the rest, and make the meaning that's most meaningful for you. Thanks for being here. Onto your horoscope. Hello, Libra. Welcome to Capricorn season. You might know that Capricorn is a sibling sign of yours. Capricorn and Libra are 2 of the 4 signs that mark the quarterly turnings of the year. So Libra season begins with the equinox and Capricorn season begins at the solstice. And this sets you up with Capricorn on the cardinal cross. And Capricorn holds the root of your chart. This is the foundational space in your chart. It brings you directly into the earth. It has a lot to do with land, with property, if that's a word that you like to use, with home, with environment, with family. These are words that mean a lot of different things to a lot of different people, so make the meaning that's meaningful for you. But this Capricorn season is exceptional because it's the first time in 16 years that Pluto is not in Capricorn anymore. Pluto entered Capricorn in 2008. Last year, Pluto made a dip into Aquarius, but then retrograded back. And at the end of November, Pluto made its final move into Aquarius. Now that's an important transit for you because Aquarius is a fellow air sign, but I'll get to that later. For now, I'm going to say that Capricorn is a new kind of landscape on a collective level and definitely a personal level. And these last 16 years have been a period of time in which the forces of Pluto, dying, death, regeneration, and transformation. Pluto is the guardian of the underworld and the alchemizer of experience. The last 16 years, Pluto has been moving through the earth of your chart. So you have been working to come to terms with your foundation, with your stability, with your home, with your family. You have been transforming these elements in your life. Many of you may have had to go through some kind of underworld journey in these themes. Maybe you experienced death of a family member or loss of homeland. There may be experiences that you are still having that resonate with the transformation of these core themes: home, family, foundation, and belonging. But something has shifted for you in the somewhat recent past. And the feeling now is that there is a new and different kind of space opening up below you. Now, as we move into Capricorn season, we are headed towards a new moon. The new moon in Capricorn arrives on December 30th, basically closing out the year. And this is definitely a feeling of big completion in the Libra solar charts. This place of the solar 4th house is not just a place of home and family and belonging, it's also a place of origins, and therefore it's a place of endings and beginnings. This is the ground. This is the place where we ultimately go back to, and the place that we came from. So this is a new moon to really concentrate on what is changing and the shifting landscape of your life. This is a great time to tune in with the ideas of home, family, and belonging, and maybe do some free writing or journaling or meditating on what do those ideas mean to you now. So again, small words, huge implications. What does it feel like for you to be at home now? It feels different than it did 16 years ago. What does family mean to you now? It means something different than it meant to you 16 years ago. What is required for you to really feel a sense of belonging? How have you transformed inside of your life to facilitate a greater sense of belonging that is different than 16 years ago? And as you meditate with these thoughts and with these themes, you can also ask into those questions, what wants to grow from this space? Because where we are rooted, we rise from. Where you are planted, you will grow. So as you bring attention into the soil, into the depth, into the space of foundation and home and belonging, there are also questions about how do you grow from here and what is it that you are wanting to cultivate. Now, back in Sagittarius season, I was talking to you about the retrograde influences of that time, and those influences extend into Capricorn season. We enter the season about little less than a week after Mercury has stationed direct, and Mercury's shadow period extends until January 2nd. This is a period of time when a lot of you are reworking your communication and attention styles. I think that there are ways that you are really wanting to shift your life right now. You're looking at allocations of energy and attention. You are thinking about how you are thinking because you're recognizing that the ways that you think about things shape your actions, behaviors, and relationships. Some of you, I think, have been learning new languages. Now, this may be real. You might be literally learning a new language, or this may be a metaphor of some kind that you're learning to communicate in new ways. Or maybe you're learning some new kinds of theories or concepts, or your language is becoming expanded with new words or new meanings. There may be new relationships or new phases in relationships that are asking you to up-level your communication and comprehension and perception. This is an exciting time for you because I think that it's opening your mind to new possibilities. And in the first week or two of Capricorn season, I think that your mind and your possibilities and the possibilities that are coming in feel really full. For some of you, that might mean confusing. There could be a lot of details that seem like they're spinning out all over the place. You might be struggling with the languages that you're learning and you don't quite know what the meaning of things are or how they need to take shape in your life now. This could also look like you're trying to figure out how to put pieces together in terms of a larger plan for yourself. But ultimately, this is a period of time that's bringing in a lot of fresh content, but not necessarily clarity around how you place and arrange it. So lots of information coming in. You have to then hold the magnitude of that information and continue to work with it over the first half of 2025. So there are periods of adjustment and readjustment that you are deep inside of right now that are trying to change the landscape of your life. Many of you are thinking about the details of your day-to-day. How do you want to organize your time, attention, labor, resources? What are you actually wanting to work for? A lot of you are thinking about well-being. This could be your well-being as well as a larger environmental and collective well-being. And you're wondering, how do you take action in order to facilitate the greatest well-being possible? Many of you are in a space where you are rethinking your kind of guiding principles in some way. This might be a period of time where your ethics or personal morals have gone through a transformation. You're working with kind of new value systems or new perspectives on something, and you want to readjust in your life in order to be more aligned and in integrity with the ways that your heart and your spirit are guiding you. I really want to encourage you to be relaxed with the questions right now. There is not a need to have definite answers. There is a need for you to be embodied about your questions, and that means to be in practice with them somehow. Writing, journaling, conversing, bringing them into creative practice, meditating with them, seeking guidance from teachers or teachings that can help you illuminate and expand your awareness are all ways that you can support and facilitate this reworking of your life energy that's trying to happen right now. And as you rework your life energy, you are actually reworking your foundation. You are clarifying important factors for yourself that have to do with this sense of belonging and home and who you want to connect with and how you want to connect, etc. As we move into the new year and into the month of January, there is a lot of energy getting focused in your relationships. Now, relationships are a big place of change for you in 2025 and moving into 2026. Many of you are in your villain era right now. I don't know if you've seen those memes, like there's a million of them, right? Where like someone is saying no and they're like, I'm in my villain era right now. I'm hanging up the phone. I'm having a boundary. I'm doing me, right, in a different way. And a lot of you are kind of in that moment. I feel like you are owning your own energy in some different kinds of ways. And it's a little risque, it's a little renegade, and it's exciting. Some of you are being provoked into that by other people also in their villain era. And so this is a period of time when a lot of people are feeling extra confrontational. There is definitely a strong amplification of conflict energy as we transition into the new year and head towards January. And in this increase of confrontational energy, there is a need for you to really express yourself authentically, but also in ways that I'm going to say are playful and creative. You don't want to be trite or trivial or flippant, but you also don't want to be overly serious. And this is kind of like, it feels like Libran intelligence right now, because I think that a lot of people are going to be really serious, and something about the way Libra needs to counterbalance, you're like, that's extra. I need to be kind of playful. I need to counter that deep seriousness with something that feels more expansive or creative or whimsical or inspirational. And if you're encountering polarizing kinds of energies, to whatever extent feels safe and possible for you, I would say that you can invite people to play with you, right? If it's a close personal relationship and this feels safe, like, and conflict is coming up, maybe instead of trying to have it out in words, you wrestle a little bit, or, you know, I don't know, like race somewhere, or have a game about it, or a dance off, or something like that. Out in the world, if you're putting yourself out there in new and different ways. And I think a lot of you you're thinking about how you want to share and what you want to share. And some of you might literally be putting yourself out in new and different ways. I would really encourage you to try and find ways to bring a kind of attitude of, again, not something that is ungrounded or flippant, but maybe a sense of humor, maybe a little bit of irreverence, maybe a touch of whimsy, right? A little bit of playfulness, because there's a lot of serious energy and you want to play the counterbalance as you do. And this is an important time for that. I will also say that some of your relationships right now need big change. And that could be you and it could be them. But if things are coming up right now and it feels like once they come up, that's, they can't be unsaid, they can't be unseen, and there needs to be some kind of action, I strongly encourage you to move forward with action. Don't try and suppress it or ignore it or make it go away. I will say, however, that as we get past the first week of January, there is a shift in the collective energy, and things start to take a turn from really fiery and expressive towards more emotional and deep and potentially relational, as well as internal. Now, in your chart, I think that this is a period of time when a lot of you are actually really dropping into a felt sense of guidance. And like I've been talking about, you're in a transition phase, and you're actually transitioning all through 2025. You are changing in the ways that you want to be in relationship. You are shifting with what you want to be doing in the world and with your life in some kind of ways. You're thinking about the future in new and different ways. And as we get into the second week of January, I feel like a lot of you are coming home to something. And so these themes of home and family and belonging are also deeply personal themes that have to do with your energy being grounded and centered and anchored in your sense of authenticity. And this is a feeling of you knowing who you are in some kind of fundamental way and feeling guided and compelled from your gut, from your inner body, not from your head, not from all the ideas that are everywhere, but really from a deep and soulful space. This is amplified as we get to the full moon in Cancer on January 13th. This is definitely a period of time that is calling you on an emotional level. It is speaking to your sensitivity. It is asking you to show up with your rawness, with your authenticity. I just said that, with your care, with your compassion, and to really pay attention to what is making itself known for you in very deeply felt ways. Something is getting readjusted around this time, and the feeling that I have is puzzle pieces clicking into place and emotional and intuitive coherence where you really have a feeling of this is your work to do. And the work that you're doing may be personal work, it may be commitments to practices or observances or being in service in some way. And it also may have something to do with ideas of vocation and career and calling or lineage or legacies that you're a part of and the ways that you put yourself out and into the world. But most importantly, Libra, over the course of Capricorn season, it is so essential for you to be tuning in with how you feel your own anchors of stability and support, and the ways that you know a sense of being at home in your own body and in your own energetic vibrational qualities. You don't necessarily need to be any particular place to be at home in yourself, but you do need to have a sense of belonging. And many of the ways that we feel lack of belonging are actually narratives that we've internalized from other people and experiences that we've had with other people who also maybe felt a lack of belonging or dislocation. And so there's some kind of message here for me in tuning in with sensitivity and being available for emotional presence that helps you get grounded and centered in yourself so that you can be available and attentive with others. And where you are going in the foreseeable future, not just in 2025, not just in 2026, but over the course of the next couple of decades, where you are going is towards a transforming sense of collective relationship and continuity. A lot of you are looking to shift the ways that you experience home and family because you see that home and family in the world has been disrupted for a lot of people. It is being threatened for so many people. It has been lost for so many people. You yourself may have experienced loss and threat, or you might now. And my feeling of your chart is that you have something to give this time that is so important. You have gifts and talents to express at this time that are so deeply needed. Because ultimately, Libra is an energy of relationship. It represents the ways that we come together, not always easily, not always pleasantly, but through shared commitment and willingness to work with what is challenging and work with what is good. To be on a life path of a Libran, you are walking on a path of peace. And peacekeeping, peacemaking, sometimes requires vigor. Sometimes it requires even aggression or assertion or fighting for what we know is most valuable. It doesn't mean, like bypassing. It doesn't mean avoiding. And I know a lot of you Libras know a lot about the actual labor of creating peace. And something about this time is calling on you to live your best Libra life and come forward with the gifts and the talents and the perspectives that you have about what people need in order to actually have good relationships, and how all of us need to have a connection with the earth, to have a sense of belonging, to be able to reawaken our inherent connections and belonging to the earth and to the land. All of you have some kind of perspective that the world needs right now in order to come back together in human consciousness, to find ways to work together creatively, brilliantly, and effectively. And my prayer for you in this Capricorn season is that you hear the call, that you trust the call, and that you find ways to be with that call that also are joyful for you and that bring a sense of playfulness and curiosity, not just into your own heart and mind and body, but into the environments that you are a part of. Libra, I hope any or all of that is helpful for you in Capricorn season. I am wishing you all the best in this season and beyond. Bye for now. Thanks so much for listening to your Capricorn season reading. If this horoscope resonated for you, please show your support by liking, following, and subscribing, and by sharing this work with your friends and community. And if you want more, don't forget to order your 2025 Year Ahead reading, where I go in depth with the big picture and main themes of this year for your sun, moon, and rising signs. This season, I hope you'll join me for Somatic Space, which is a class I offer every Monday where we prepare ourselves to work with the astrology of the week ahead through gentle healing body practices, breathwork, meditation, and visualization. You can drop in once to try it out, or if you become a member, you'll also get access to the past classes video archive, as well as Tea Time, which is a monthly meetup and conversation space where we learn and share how astrology is moving through our lives. You can find more information about working with me and other embodied astrology events in the show notes, or through the study section at embodiedastrology.com. Thanks so much for being here. Thanks for listening and engaging. I truly hope to see you in an embodied astrology space soon. Bye for now.